If there's one monster that transcends genres and cultures, it's the humble zombie. There's no monster more recognizable and, alas, when it comes to 5e Dungeons & Dragons, more predictable than the zombie. In this video, we're going to fix the zombie and give you new and exciting zombie variants to use in your 5e game. The 5e monster manual tells us that zombies are infused with necromantic magic and know no fear or hesitation. Slow and lumbering, the zombie is imbued with evil and will attack any living creature it encounters. Zombies can appear in hideous forms, riddled with maggots or worms, or swollen and reeking of marsh water. Zombies are mindless and have no comprehension of tactics or terrain. If armed, it may use a weapon, but will be just as happy to attack with its flailing arms. In other words, zombies are fearless, stupid, slow, relentless, and evil, just how we like them. That the zombie is slow, mindless, and devoid of tactics becomes readily apparent when we look at its stat block. There really isn't much here to speak of. The zombie has relatively many hit points for its challenge rating, but an abysmal AC. It's also slow and has horrendous mental ability scores. The zombie's only attack, a slam attack, has only +2 to hit and deals 4 damage, making the zombie a meager offensive threat at best. The only really interesting thing about the zombie is its undead fortitude, which allows it to keep coming despite being brought to 0 hit points as long as it doesn't take radiant damage or damage from a critical hit. When it comes to tactics, the zombie really only has one option on its turn: move forward and make slam attacks. It might substitute its slam attack for an attempt to shove or grapple, but with only a +1 to the athletics roll, it's not a great option either. Now, it'll be easy to say that the zombie's issue is that it's boring, but to be fair, that is kind of the point of the zombie. That said, I'm not a big fan of the zombie's slam attack. I have a hard time envisioning a zombie drawing its arm back to make a fast, powerful strike with its half-rotten appendage. To me, zombies are clawing, biting creatures that try to grab hold of you, pull you close, and bite and tear at you. Second, while the zombie probably shouldn't have too many options to choose from in combat, it would be fun if the player characters had more ways to interact with it. So to fix the zombie, I'm going to present an alternative zombie stat block as well as 2 additional zombies, a zombie Reeker and a zombie swarm. For the first zombie, we're going to keep its base stats the same, except we're going to make it immune to being exhausted or frightened. That just makes sense, especially when we take the zombie's lore into account. Next, we're going to replace its slam attack with 2 other options. A bite attack that deals slightly more damage than before, but which provokes opportunity attacks if the zombie isn't grappling the creature. It also gets a slightly less damaging claw attack that also grapples the target. In combination, these 2 attack options make for a more dynamic monster that has at least a semblance of tactics, and makes the combat more exciting for the player characters who get to throw out opportunity attacks or attempt to extricate themselves from grapples. Building on that, we're also going to give the zombie a weakness, being headshotted. A creature that attacks a zombie can choose to take a -5 penalty on the attack roll, but in return a hit becomes a critical hit, which of course deals extra damage and also sidesteps the zombie's undead fortitude. Slightly more complicated, this zombie is nonetheless a more fun tactical challenge, and also, in my view, more like how I imagine a zombie would be, from the holding and biting to the soft and vulnerable head. Next up, we have the zombie Reeker. The zombie Reeker has the same overall stats as the regular zombie, but it has a few key differences. Instead of a bite attack, the Reeker gets a spew bile attack that can also be used at short range and deals poisonous damage and potentially poisons a target. We also retain the new headshot vulnerability, but replace the powerful undead fortitude feature with hazardous demise. Instead of potentially staying alive, the downed zombie Reeker explodes into a cloud of gore and bile, damaging and potentially blinding its foes. Finally, we have the zombie swarm. Sometimes dealing with individual zombies can be pretty tedious for the players, but certainly also for the DM. With the zombie swarm, you can minimize how many creatures you need to keep control of, as the swarm represents, let's say, 8 zombies shambling toward their living prey. The swarm has the same statistics as a regular zombie, except it has more hit points, it's stronger, and it has some condition immunities that are benefit of being multiple monsters in one package. Instead of 2 attack options, the swarm has only 1 option, which deals significant damage and also grapples the target. It also has the potential to knock the target prone as the zombies swarm around it. The swarm, of course, also has the regular swarm feature, which allows it to move through and into other creature spaces and prevents it from regaining hit points. It also has an undead resurgence feature, which means that once it dies, if it didn't die from a critical hit or radiant damage, some of the zombies in the swarm will reanimate to fight on as individual zombies. Alright, so that's my solution for making the 5e zombie more dynamic, tactically challenging, and all around enjoyable. Please let me know what you think, and also make sure to let me know if there's a monster you'd like to see tackled next. We're going to take the best suggestions and let our patrons over at patreon.com/Eventyr vote on which monster they'd like to see in this series. Hero tier patrons over at the Patreon will also get early access to the videos and a weekly updated PDF containing the stat blocks for all the monsters we look at in this series. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot left to say, except thank you for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next video.